Hey everyone, it's Rachel. Today I wanted to spend some time and talk with you about making progress learning guitar and how it is totally okay if you don't always feel like you are actually making progress. I'm usually very positive on my channel, and I am positive in general. I think it is important to keep that positivity when you're learning something and to try to help encourage others to have fun with what they're learning. But there are periods of time where I personally get down on myself for feeling like I'm not making enough progress or that I'm not practicing well enough. And I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's totally normal and something that pretty much everyone will go through when they're learning an instrument or just learning anything in general. Progress won't always feel linear. It kind of ebbs and flows. There are some days, for instance, when I feel like I can't play even a single note without it sounding bad, which is not really true. It's kind of my perceived notion of how I'm playing, but there are other days when I feel like I can play anything I want to. In these scenarios, it can be hard to think about the bigger picture and how much progress you've actually made when you're having trouble seeing it on a day-to-day scale, but it is there and you are making progress, you are getting better, and as long as you're having fun with the process, that is the most important thing. Sometimes if I'm having these feelings, one thing that helps me is if I look back at a larger scale and just see how far I've come. If you look back at your first day of playing guitar compared to how you play now, you look at your first day where you're trying to figure out how to even put your hand on the guitar, to even just being able to play a single chord, to whatever you're doing now, I'm sure there's a lot of progress and you've learned a ton. That's the most extreme example, but of course you can even look back a few weeks or a few months, and if you've been practicing, I'm sure there's something new that you know now that you didn't know back then. Big or small, it doesn't matter. As long as you've been enjoying the process, you will find that progress and it will be easier to think about your playing on a long-term scale. One other thing to note is that oftentimes it can be hard to reflect on yourself and see your own progress, but those around you can totally see it and are really proud of what you're doing. We have a pretty awesome, encouraging community on this channel, so what I'd love for you to do now is leave a comment with something that you've achieved, something that you're proud of. It can be big or small, any time frame, guitar related or otherwise. I just love to see what you've all been up to, and hopefully we can all encourage each other in our pursuits. It's really inspirational hearing from all of you and what you're all up to, but if you don't want to leave a comment, maybe just leave an encouraging comment on someone else's comment, just so we can keep up this encouraging atmosphere and encourage everyone with their progress on whatever they're working on. Another thing to keep in mind is that while it's pretty common to want to compare yourself and your playing with others online, oftentimes what you're seeing online is the result of many takes to get something as close to perfection as possible. When I'm recording a cover, for instance, I myself will do many different takes to get something that I'm personally proud of, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever it takes to get something that I like and like how it sounds. And while doing this certainly takes a lot of work and does require skills and makes you get better, just watching a video online isn't always a reflection of how they play all the time, and that applies across the board. Even the professionals you see in music videos or just recording covers, they will likely have done many takes to get something as close to perfect as possible as well. So all I'm saying here is, if possible, try not to compare yourself too much to the people you're seeing online and the professionals that you admire. While they are probably awesome musicians and probably put in a ton of hard work, what you're seeing isn't always a completely accurate reflection of them just picking up and playing one time through. Now, I know this can be very tricky, and I definitely struggle with it sometimes as well. It is hard not to just compare yourself and your progress to others, but I think you'll be happier if you can avoid this and just make progress in your own way and be proud of what you're doing. And the final thing, and probably the most important thing I want to say about progress on guitar, is that progress doesn't matter much unless you're having fun with what you're doing. It can be easy to get caught up in the idea of just getting better and kind of lose the fun and enjoyment you once had when you were playing your instrument. Getting better is great, and it can definitely add to your enjoyment of playing, but again, if you're not having fun with it, it won't matter as much. And another thing is, you don't have to want to make progress. You can just want to have fun with what you're doing. You can be totally happy with your current level of skill and just want to keep playing what you're playing, and that is awesome. All that matters is that you're enjoying it. So I think that's about it. I just kind of wanted to talk about this subject a little bit because it's been on my mind recently. I've been struggling with a few things myself, and I had to remind myself of everything I mentioned in this video. I think a lot of people online don't really want to talk about it because it's kind of not as confident seeming, but I think it's something that most people will go through when they're learning something new, and something that is totally okay and something that should be recognized. Almost everyone will go through stages where we feel like we aren't doing as well as we want to, but that is totally normal, and it is totally fine. You are making progress, you are getting better, and as long as you're enjoying it overall, that's what really matters. Whatever you're trying to learn, as long as you're putting in practice and enjoying the process, I believe that you can do it and you will achieve what you want to achieve. Progress in the journey of learning may sometimes be more like a wave, but every single person you look up to, every single professional has once been a beginner and has gone through the same thing as you. So if you put in the work and you enjoy the process, you can get where they are too. I just want to let you know that I also have similar feelings, and this is as much a reminder for me as it is for anyone who might be watching. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate having all of you here, and I will see you in the next video.